Hey guys, let's do another storyboard trick. The good news is that we're hiring storyboard artists. The bad news is that the quality of the tests we're getting that are coming in are not great. So let's go over the story beats of the tests that we were handing out. First beat is that it's 1922, and we're at Laugh-O-Gram, and Walt is going bankrupt. Forces him to move into a buyworks place and then move out and then sleep in the office. But then he gets a phone call from an upcoming client, a dentist client, Thomas McCrum, who wants Walt to make a short film. And actually, Walt made the film, and then when the dentist calls him back up, Walt has to confess, well, I can't quite come meet you with the film because I have no shoes. The shoe repairman won't bring me back my shoes until I give him $1.50. So Dr. McCrum races up to the shoe repairman's place, gives the shoe repairman the $1.50, gets Walt's shoes, brings them to Walt. They conclude their deal, pay for the film. Walt hires back his animators, makes that film. We fast forward to Walt's success with Mickey Mouse. And even 20 years later, Dr. McComb was still playing Walt's great short film in the small town. So those are roughly the story beats of what is happening with the tests that we hand out. Now let me show you some of the ways that people are missing the mark on their storyboard test. So what we have here is, so in this shot, I mean, we get the time frame, 1922 is fine, but you see that the bankruptcy, which is the point of the composition, is way back in the background, and there's, not only do we not know the point of the shot, it's de-emphasized. We don't really necessarily know where we are. We don't know who these people are. There's no introduction of them. There's no name or contact information on this test. The labeling wrong. We have scene 1, panel 1, and it should have been scene 2, panel 2, etc., etc. These are very flat compositions. Again, no transition, really very strong. What's the point of the shot? As we're sitting, he's sitting in bed, I guess, somehow. We have no idea why he left. And then again, we need to flesh out any of these scenes, any acting or posing. This office, we don't know where that is. Walt's evidently sleeping at the office here. No real staging or letting us know that. Again, Walt is evidently going to go shower at the train station. We don't even see a train to give us any visual cues. Who is he paying the money to? I have no idea what's happening in this shot. I don't know what's happening in these shots. Walt's making stuff, I guess. More just, it's just bad staging, composition, no acting out, fleshing out the poses. No idea what, no acting out on the phone call. No idea who this shoe repair is. We don't even get an introduction to his place. More questions as to who's driving, what's going on here. So, again, on this one, no clue as to where we are or what's going on. I guess Walt is successful now. No transitions, no nothing. Some movie theater. And again, it's not about the quality of the drawing and storyboard. It's about the clarity and hashing out the story and the storytelling. So you'll see that these aren't necessarily the most clear storyboards, but again, there's too much missing to even consider you for a storyboard job. Here's another one here where we have, we don't know where we are. We start off in Walt's office, and the pan shot should have been, all the panels come together. That's what this is a pan shot of him going over. Should have been kind of a down shot. no real information. There's a bunch of tangents in your composition. Your mislabeling of the scene. So here we had scene 1, panel 4, and then you still kept it scene 1, panel 5. So another mistake. Should have done a slight truck out here to give us a little room to breathe as the people are walking by the office. Make the bills the point of the shot. Like example, have the bills be the focus point on the composition. Here is just kind of a flat focused shot. There's no point to it. We have this character come in. Iworks is my assumption of who it is. We don't know without the dialogue because his head's cut off and there's no clue. Maybe something on the box. There's no clue as to who he is. This may be but evidently it is because I'm reading the dialogue. But again, there's not enough information to tell us what who this is or you need to give the audience a clue as to who you're introducing. I mean, this is a good indication of the eviction. That's fine. You need an establishing shot. I mean, where are we now? We're just kind of at some house and flat composition. Pretty boring on that. We go to this shot, and there's no real. There's no clue. And yes, I guess it's the upper bedroom of Ihouse's house, but there's no clue or anything to tell us, what is the importance of this shot. This shot tells us very little. There's no acting or anything. This is pretty decent. Him, walking downstairs. This is good though. This is where he walks downstairs and then Ub's mother and him are talking about Walt's got to go out of the house. Makes Walt sad. So that was a pretty decent staging and storytelling there. But then when we come to him sneaking out of the Iworks house, the flatness of the composition, we need some foreground, middle ground, background would be ideal to set the composition, and it's just it's pretty flat comp. In this composition of the table there, it wouldn't hurt to make everything point to this section here, and we have there's a lot of blank space that could have been used to point to there, because then we go to that Walt left a letter to Ub and his mother about not being happy at the place, but we don't even get a chance to see that. I guess there's a voice narration, but there's nothing that's told us here. And then all of a sudden we're on a couch of some kind, and then we get this weird jump cut where Walt's waking up, and we have a somewhat clear that he's at Laugh-O-Gram, but you probably should use a crane shot if you're going to use that one shot prior to there. So see how let's see. So you're there, and then we rotate. So I would have probably done a crane shot. And then again, we go out of this building. We have no idea where we are because there's no indication. We've never seen the outside of Walt's office. So this new location doesn't really do anything for us. It just it makes us wonder. I guess that's Walt coming out of the new location. He should have been more of a descend on him walking the sidewalk to show that maybe he's going down into the belly of the beast. And again, you have a bunch of tangents on your composition. This was good on you doing the transition as Walt's out walking. We get us to the train station, so you did a good job here on getting us to the train station. But then we get into this, and it feels like a different location. We're just like, okay, well, where are we? Because we need more visual clues as to that we're in the train station on the inside now. It just would have been a better staging or composition story-wise. Walt's waiting in line. This probably should have been a down shot because we're going from Walt's point of view, and it should have been more of a down shot as we're looking at his hand. This is pretty good of Walt handing him the 10 cents to get the bath, and then getting the towel and so for the day. So that's pretty good. This shot of Walt getting ready for the bath was pretty flat. At least give me a 2-point perspective on some of this because I prefer a little depth in shots. Then we have a jump cut. Actually, I guess it looks like a jump cut because of the different sizes of what's going on there. Then still pretty flat. There's no background in this. The first panel should have had some kind of background. Go to a medium shot on this. So we should have had more of a medium shot, and then we truck into a close up of his I'm looking through the show. We have tangents here, pretty flat comp. Throw something as overlays, more tangents. This is pretty good. Walt walking down the street, still struggling with his hole in the shoe issue. And then this is pretty flat, straight on of the vertical pan down with the door, and that's actually done where you would have taken all these panels and taped them onto one and made the vertical pan with the hole. So it would have been one sheet that you'd have taped together to make a vertical pan. It's not really. I see what it is, but it's not really great. And then in this shot, there's so much negative space. There's it's just an unbalanced composition. I'm not sure the point. Even giving us grid lines to make it more of a down shot would have been better. The focus on this shot, you had everything pretty much the same element. I emphasized that there should have been one bill or something to emphasize he's looking down and being stressed out by bills. And that way the audience can say, aha, here's our clue. Walt's still stressed out about bills. But again, you had everything within the repetition of that composition, the same size and the same repetition, which some of them should have been of different size. Okay, composition. The background question. Who is this? We haven't been introduced to the dentist. And again, we could do a close up, but again, there's no background. This is a decent background, letting us know what's going on. That he's a dentist, and that it could have been staged more cleaner. Because look how something to keep us out of these corners. It's flat, but the background works pretty good. Slight tangent as you're working here. This should have been a medium shot on your phone call. Again, no background. Medium shot. Should have been medium shot. Pretty flat in your execution here. Medium shot. Medium shot. Again, so evidently the dentist goes over to the shoemaker, and the only reason we know it's a shoemaker is there's we should have had introduction. Here's a shoemaker, and then here he comes. But the staging should have been a lot more focused. We should have had part one. We see a shoemaker, and then part two. Here's the guy coming out of the shoemaker. So if you're introducing a new character, you need to make sure that you set up your introduction to him a lot more planned, a lot more specific. Pretty flat and boring. We're getting into Walt. What is even going on? They're knocking on the door, and I guess the dentist is coming in to give Walt back his shoes. Pretty flat composition. I would have started with, okay, so again, no interesting composition at all here. The dentist is giving back, and probably should have started the action here as the dentist is beginning to hand him the shoes, and then we finish the action with him handing him the shoes. We see Walt grabbing the shoes, and then all of a sudden it just vanishes. So I would have done the last pose here with Walt taking the box. So we go from the box being grabbed, and then it's just gone. So I would have just fleshed it out. Just try to make it, I guess more idiot-proof sometimes. I would have entered the hand a little bit higher. I know this is pretty anal. I would have entered the hand a little bit higher because it's more of like a confident, hey, I did it. Thanks for getting me my shoes. In contrast to the straight bringing in, and that's just kind of acting preference more so than really anything that wasn't really taken away from you. No transition to get us to where Walt's successful with his team of artists doing his thing, and then on this shot, it just was a shot of just a bunch of trophies, his shoes, and his medals. But I would have done more of a pan shot to give us more focus as to what is the point of the shot, kind of letting the audience say, see this, see this, see this. This is, it kind of gives a more of a interesting way to see the details that has to happen. But the way you had it set up, nothing was really that important. It just was all kind of on the same level, all kind of the same minutia, and so it's just not really staged well. This one was given in. The artwork was nice, but there's flat composition. Shots. A lot of the shots told no clue to the audience, and it didn't finish the test. One thing, if you're gonna do a storyboard test, you got to finish it. That's just kind of rule number one. So we see the door to Laugh-O-Gram, and then we get into Laugh-O-Gram again. Pretty flat comps. The way that shot again, this transition of Walt being struggled with his bills. We should have because he's struggling with his bills. The composition should have been more of the bills are piling up to be the central of the composition, and then we see little Walt in the background or something like that to emphasize that it's the bills that are overwhelming Walt. And then Iworks comes in. See, it opens the previous shot. Too much happens. Walt walks in. Is he teleported as he comes in? Also, flat camera, emotion impact. You kept him dead center on what it is. You kept your lines parallel to the frame. Let's see. Let's see what's on the door. I think you I think you swapped doors on your position there. Let me see what you do here. Bum, 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 bum. Inconsistency with the door there. It's been a while since I've looked at this test. This guy, let's see. Again, just kind of flat, boring composition. Really, not even great acting as to what's going on here. Inconsistency of your backgrounds. Boring comp. Dead on's just lower camera. Look up. Be on Walt's shoes. Not really great acting. Almost a tangent there. I don't know. It's really not telling us much of what's going on with the characters here. Dead center on the building and the composition. We don't really know where we are. The assumption is that we're at a laphogram. We need a hookup. So this is Walt here, evidently. He's on a chair. Your stairs are parallel with the picture frame. Missing start, middle, and end acting here. We're going to Walt smoking cigarettes, and then Iwerks comes in. That was clever when you talked about Iwerks coming in and saying, those things will kill you. That was a little bit clever gag in there that wasn't in the script. So I like you plushing that a little bit. On this one, it's just a flat comp. It should have been more of a down shot on that, because we're at I think we did a slight jump cut. What do we do there? Let's see. So we have here. Then we cut into Walt. I know what happened. The light changed where it looked like we started going down a little bit more on that. And it was interesting because in the where we are, it seems like Walt jumped on the top step a little bit there. And then again, I don't know, just very boring compositions. I guess this is Iwerks inviting him to live with him. Dead center, camera flat, action, one action at a time. Also read left to right. See what Walt's reaction before does his thing. So we probably should have had Walt react and then have Iwerks react on it. We have why. Yeah, why is Walt spinning around on this? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you on that one. And then we go to another location spot, and we have no idea where we are. I don't know. And he's coming in dead center on your composition. You're pretty flat in your setting up your medium shot. I guess this is Walt's point of view, but again, why all this negative space? We're unbalanced on a little bit of it, and yes, it's Walt's room, but it doesn't really tell us anything about the situation that he's coming into. Pretty decent acting with that. Flat composition. Walt's still going into Iwerks' house. Is giving some acting about some dialogue. Going back and forth. Both laugh, fade in, fade out. Flat composition. I think actually, where the heck did because Walton, there was a section there after when he moves into Iwerks' house, and he's supposed to move out because he's irritated, and then move into the office. And so, but now we cut to a shot where Walt is talking to the dentist on the phone. So they missed the whole section of that story that dealt with Walt living in the train station and living in the office. So it's not great. I guess this dentist, a new location of the dentist. We have there's nothing telling us who this is, or it's just a big blob character, right smack in the middle of the frame. Nothing telling us who he is or what he is. Again, just kind of general acting poses. I guess this is when the dentist is wanting to collect the film, and Walt's feeling a little bit pressured, because he doesn't have shoes. I would have staged this a little bit more clear in your silhouette. See how jumbled up you are here. It's a decent acting, but you're pretty jumbled up in that pose. Let's see. Again, just minor, possibly. That's okay. It's not great. And the reveal of the no shoes is pretty weak. It just all of a sudden, what the hell? I think he just put his feet up. Or let's see here. So we go here. Let's see what happens here. We go here, and then we cut wide. Go here, and we cut wide, and then we also boom. He has his feet up with no shoes. We truck into here. His feet are smelly. Not great. Not really staged very interesting. Pretty flat. How you're staging it. No, the dentist, reveals it. Decent acting. Decent acting on the dentist being a jolly character that would tolerate all this and yet still pay Walt. So that was decent. Again, we don't resolve, that the dentist is going to go, and I guess the dentist just jumps in the car and drives. Shoe repairman backwards. Probably should have done it again to clarify because we're going to a new location. Yeah, I would have, again, try to make the shoe repairman a little more of a heavy as to who he is, and nothing in the shot gives us the clue as to what his profession is outside that sign. Pretty poor staging on your composition. Right smack in the middle. Yes, we're going from his point of view. So there, actually, you probably should have jumped on this side of camera. See, we're going here and then there. So yeah, I'd flip these. Because then it looks like we're jumping across the line. So Walt comes in, pretty flat composition. No real buildup of the shoes being handed to him. And again, he didn't finish the test, so I mean that's as far as we got. Walt gets his shoes handed to him, and then we don't get about the film at the end. Here's another one. We get pretty flat composition as we go in. Pretty decent, letting us know, reveal of location. Mismatching. You have scene 1 here, panel 3, and you have scene 1 here, panel 4, and yet we jump to from him being at the table to him being at the door, I guess. So, and I guess Abai works, or I guess maybe that's the landlord, is what it is. Let me see what it says. What you have here? Yeah, here you have the thumb on the wrong hand. You have the hand backwards. You parallel lines, making the just too much flat. Give it just a little depth. You have tangents going on. Give me a little overlap. A little more tangents, a little more flat in your composition. Again, this composition. The point of the shot is that Walt has no money, but yet all of the point of the shot is way down here, where all of this is space wasted, not pointing to the fact that Walt has no money. He's pulling out his composition. I mean, there's so many better ways to stage that. Evidently, Walt gets thrown out of his office here, but all we see is just somebody. I guess it's Walt being thrown out of his office. Just kind of a weird kind of composition here. Him at the bottom of the stairs. Pretty flat composition. I guess this is. I have no idea. You just jumped from him being thrown out of his office to inside of his office with something. Okay, so I'm not sure why he got back into his office here, because you show him back into his office here, and then I don't know what you're doing here. Flat composition, maybe more. Again, you're just not moving your camera very far to the left, to the right. Give me a 2-point perspective or anything. It's just kind of a straight on shot. Pretty boring in what it is. This doesn't say much. This is just bad. Just there's no depth in that shot. I mean, that's just, it's just not staged well. On this shot, as we get introduced to the dentist's hand is backwards. Who is this guy? There's tangents everywhere. There's nothing in the shot. I mean, yeah, I guess we can guess this is a dentist because of this little tool here, but if we're introducing to a new character, you need to give us a little bit more information to say this is a dentist. Here's some tools. We just kind of evidently Walt's on the phone with him. Yeah, he's trying to collect the deal on the phone. You have a tangent here. More just bad staging of your shot here. Look how flat that drawing is. More flat drawings. This is just a miserable composition. All this negative space up here. You have a tangent here. You have everything's crammed in there. More flat. No depth in the shot. Flat. Just flat tangent. You're smack in the middle on this composition. Yeah, it's just flat drawing. When we jump from here and we jump to Walt's place, there's no transition. When did he go get the shoes? I didn't see that. And then, evidently they're already at the Timmy Tooth premiere. We have a close-up, I guess. This is the screenshot of the Timmy Tooth. They didn't even finish the test on that. So another one where we have, that's a pretty decent location of Laugh-O-Gram. We have people coming in frame, a little bit boring in your composition. This is scene 1, panel 1. You've labeled as scene 1, panel 2. This should be scene 2. Why all this negative space? Look how you're letting your picture run out of frame there. It's just not a great picture. More tangents, no background. Timmy the Tooth. You're labeling, no idea. You're unbalanced on this composition. I guess the phone rings, and then we jump to another shot where Walt's close. It's almost a jump cut there. Where are we? You need to show me what's going on instead of just example here. Walt's rocking in the chair, and you didn't do any of that in your posing. There's no rocking in the chair. There's no acting in this on the Dennis getting the deal. Walt's revealed on those shoes. There's no acting on the Dennis enjoying it. Lower the camera angle. The shoemaker getting the shoes. The dentist coming to grab the shoes and giving to Walt. It just doesn't even make sense. I'm not even sure what you're showing there. No background, no acting. I wonder how you. Okay, pretty flat on this transition going from here to here. It's an interesting idea. It's not too bad. It probably would work maybe. This transition again. We have tangents throughout the yin yang and who are. I assume these are Walt's workers, but again, you'd have to guess on that. And TV wasn't invented until 1927. The film that he made. Was made in 1922, so you didn't quite do your homework on that one. You put us in a TV spot where things are being shown on TV and they're still being shown in theaters. So yeah. This one has a lot of pretty drawings, but there's just some fundamental things like here. We start off here. Where are we? We don't know where we are. We're Walt's having a headache. What is he worried about? You don't show the audience what he's worried about. No labeling on the scenes. No labeling on the panels. No information on our dialogue. My assumption is that these are workers that are going past Walt. Telling him goodbye. Walt's coming out of where? I assume he's coming out of Laugh-O-Gram, and then we have the trolley coming by. Yeah, I think you do get some decent acting in some of your shots, as Walt's walking away. We're going to we don't know because you didn't really reveal what's going on. There's a key and somebody's giving him a key. Now remember Walt's in a begging position, so this would be a good time to put her in the dominant position as he's begging for a room. And again, we don't even have iWorks working with this at all, so we don't know where we are. We don't know who this person is. Just is this? Let me see. Did you maybe is that the landlord? Here's the key. Oh, I guess the landlord's taking the key. But again, we don't know that. There's nothing. There's nothing telling us that. Okay, so evidently, Walt heads off to Ub Iwerk's place, and I guess that's Ub Iwerk's there, which probably should have introduced him a little more. Again, we're asking who this is. What should have happened? See, like here, where I have a picture of Walt and Ub Iwerk's hanging out together. Then we pan over to them, going into the same living room. So we have an idea of their buddies beforehand, and then they're hanging out, in the same place. So again, the introduction of a new character, you need to give the audience a little more information. Here we what's the point of this shot? I guess they're all hanging out on the couch, and we see Walt's miserable, but there's just still not enough information and a lot of this negative space for what? Because what are they watching, the radio? I guess they're hanging around. There's radios right there, but This should have been more of a down shot, as we've seen, Walt being bummed by, or even a slight truck in would have helped a little bit on his emotional reaction there. We see him just being bummed on the couch. Again, just, I don't know. Walt's getting up, and then he leaves. Again, there's not enough clues as to why Walt's miserable. He just kind of just starts being a sulking little baby, and so I don't know. And then we go to this location. My assumption this is where the train location is, because we're cutting to it here. We're going, Walt, I guess he's getting dressed for the train, and then this is pretty decent. Your gag about the shoe. You did flesh out the action pretty decently, but then when telling us, the clue, the audience as to where he is, this little bitty train thing, that's not enough. We need more obvious clues, like, that he's a train station, and then at the train station, then evidently he's going over to the shoe repairman. No transition, no nothing, just kind of he's off to the shoe repairman. Again, a little bit stronger, more information on we're at the shoe repairman, just because we know the story, we know that's who that is. Walt's negotiating to get his shoes. Again, I probably would have put the shoe repairman a little bit higher in plane, that made Walt a little more weak to emphasize. This was good, revealing that Walt's walking home without shoes. That was a good visual of that. Again, where are we? We're at, my assumption we're at Laugh-O-Gram again. Walt's coming to catch. In this composition, what's the point? I mean, what clue are we supposed to grab from this composition? The couch dominates too much. This is dominating too much. I mean, it's just it's poorly executed. Well, this is pretty good acting though, with Walt being frustrated with his financial situation. And then again, with Walt going to the phone, we need a better staging of the phone. Maybe in frustration, he throws something at the desk to get us to the phone. Because it just feels like this shot is just kind of unplanned, right? So then when we go to this shot, it feels even more unplanned. I mean, the point of the shot is obviously he's receiving a phone call, and then we don't have any idea as to what's going on there because there's no dialogue in our description. And the acting is pretty way subtle. They're not moving at all. Again, we're assuming this is a dentist, but we have maybe some clues, wash, sink, and such things. But I would have made it a little more obvious with props. We have no idea what they're talking about because you didn't put it in the dialogue or the acting or any of the information. Again, we have no idea what they're talking about. The acting is. The point is that evidently Walt has no money about the shoes. Not really great performance there. He leaves. The dentist leaves for some reason, and we're at Laugh-O-Gram again here. I guess this is the dentist driving up to Laugh-O-Gram, and Walt comes in, and we're getting the shoes, but we need an insert shot of here's your shoes, so we can emphasize the point. Here's your shoes, Walt. No reaction. We need a reaction shot from Walt showing thank you. Some transition to show that time has passed, because this is the theater of that Walt's movie is being played at. And then we have more of shots of the theater, but we don't have any success panels. In Walt, because part of the story was 20 years later when Walt was famous. He still was able to even in your dialogue in your frames you didn't talk about that, so we don't have that transition there. This one, again, we don't know where we are. Better would have been to give us a little bit of a sign, Laugh-O-Gram. We have tangents of our characters. We have a slight truck in on this shot would have been a better choice, to give us interest here. We probably should have flipped this a little bit to keep the continuity correct on it. Done more of a down shot, and also probably should have started with the door closed so that we can really emphasize where we are. Notice he looks, and then I would have continued the looking before he went down, just to really emphasize the sigh. Minor note. The acting's interesting, but again, we're revealing as to where we are. We don't know where we are. It's
it's not enough information. Okay, because I used to reveal. Yeah, it's a decent close up, and then we reveal, but we don't know who these people are because there's no way. There's no way you didn't establish that in the first thing. The shot with Walt at the sitting at my assumption is of Iwerk's house where the bookcase falls on him could have been more of a down shot as we're trying to empathize with him. And again, it's kind of pointless in what it is, But I don't know. It's just yeah, it just shows that he's annoyed with living there, but it seems a little forced and pointless. That's what it is. Maybe a montage of him, being annoyed with his the guests that he's living with. A cut to him grabbing a suitcase, pull camera out, show more context. Let's see what I would have done. I would have maybe added, just a little bit more. Not sure what I would have done. Let's see. I would have. So Walt's stepping out of the rug here. We have him grabbing his toothbrush and leaving. Pull back so camera can see where he is in context, and maybe do a vertical pan from here to here. We need a better transition going from here to the office where he's we need an establishing shot or something to give us as to where we are. See, foreground probably should have added a little more depth to the foreground, so just pretty flat back there. Again, trying to raise the camera level to give a little bit more. Maybe if the couch was more of an emphasis in the foreground when he plops on it, we'd be like, empathize with him. But it's all pretty even as you've staged it. Your fade out was not proper. When we go to the train station, we have no idea that's not a train station because there's no signs. Yeah, there's just nothing letting us know that. Maybe a vertical pan up to see the signs. We have a moment of him grabbing or dropping 10 cents into the train station that we're not quite sure if it's the train station or not. Yeah, just maybe more of a what is it doing? Maybe more of a crane shot as he comes down, grabs his towel, and then we go into him being at the office, kind of an abrupt cut between the two scenes. Here. I'm getting tired of those. Let's see here. Minor things of changing the camera angle, make it more of an upshot when we see the dentist, because we're introduced into a new character. We see the character. He's kind of cut off, where we probably should have given us more of Walt and the character. A little flat composition. Maybe a little more 2-point perspective here, a little more depth in the shot. Keep characters on same. Yeah. You have the characters pretty even in what they're doing. The very flat composition. You didn't add much to your cut scenes. It's just not staged. This conversation at the table is just not staged very well. It'd been a little more interesting if you just move the camera angle around and get us a little more angles. I guess flipping these where this is 1 and this is 2, where Walt's diligently working on something, and then we see him at a desk. But again, your staging's not great on that. And maybe 3, and do a zoom out to see him slaving away on something. 2-point would have been better to do your perspective. Maybe a little more acting on the anticipation and the action, and then the afterwards on what's going on with this. A little more depth in the shot. Maybe have him focus on the pull your camera a little bit there. Not enough depth on this shot. Maybe even raise up your camera level on this one to make it a little bit more of a down shot. Yeah, I wouldn't have. Again, I would have flipped this because we're going from we're disorienting the audience with the fact that he has no shoes. But I would have flipped the staging of that because you're really disorienting them big time on this panel here. Maybe I'm not sure. Let's see what here. Dennis is concerned. No shoes. Yeah, I'm not sure that I can get Dennis is concerned out of that. Acting. The acting doesn't tell us anything. This maybe could have been more of a truck in with the characters there. We have the dentist and the shoemaker and Walt on the same level. Maybe a little bit more of a worm's eye point of view, more of a down shot on this one, getting the still same level, still him dealing with the dentist. You put them on the same planes. Close up would have been probably good for the emotionalness of this shot because we have all this emotion that's happening and we're far away, so I would have put the camera a little bit closer. We're still at Laugh-O-Gram on this one. This is driving to the shoe repairman, I guess. Here, it's moving there. Moves out. Maybe more of a upshot looking at the dentist and doing this triumphant thing. Maybe more showing the action that's happening before they're signing the contract. Maybe more of the upshots here. Your staging is just pretty straightforward on this. The staging of Walt being successful is a little unclear. It's just, I don't know, staring at Mickey Mouse. And then we go into the last stage of here. So that's some of the tests that we're getting. If you're interested in taking a test, we hand them out on Sundays. Email me at this address, and why don't you give it a shot and see if you can come work for us on Storyboards, okay? I hope this helps. Talk to you soon.